Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sam Krones. If you don't know me, I'm a guitarist, musician, producer, whatever you want to call me, out of Orange County, California. Play a lot of math rock and prog stuff, some of that Midwest emo stuff. Today, I thought it would be really cool if we kind of wrote a riff together, because I know I've been getting a lot of questions online about like how do I write my riffs? What is my thought process when going into writing a new riff and stuff like that, especially when it comes down to like open tunings, because that's what I'm so familiar with. So today I was going to take you through a writing session with me. We were going to go through essentially how to do all of that. Today though, there is a twist. My friends over at GGD, Get Good Drums, have sent me their newest drum plugin, and it is incredible. It's a Matt Garstka Signature Drum pack. So it has like his tones, his drums, and it's got a bunch of grooves that Matt himself would play in the plugin. So I thought it would be fun if we sat down and tried to write a riff off of one of these patterns. For anyone who's feeling a little bit like stuck, uninspired, I feel like changing up the way that you write can actually be a breath of fresh air, because it can force you into new ideas that you wouldn't otherwise think of without that opportunity. So that's the purpose of today, as well as we're gonna take these drums and I'm gonna try and write to the mini Matt Garstka in my computer, because it's like a mini Matt Garstka in your computer, which is pretty cool because I've never had one of those. So yeah, okay. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it. I'll pull you over to the computer and then I'll show you kind of around the plugin and the tuning that I'm using, and we'll just get to writing. All right, so hello. We are here in the DAW now. This is Logic Pro. This is the DAW choice. So let's actually just take a look at the plugin. I've already got my guitar tuned up. I'm using this tuning today. Yeah, it's pretty comfortable for me. I've used it plenty of times before and it's comfortable shapes, but it's cool because writing a riff this way makes me actually like, it challenges me to write it a little bit differently. So I might not be using some of the same techniques that I usually rely on to write a riff in my style. So, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this is the Matt Garstka Signature Drums by GGD. This is super cool. You got obviously every piece of the kit here. And then we've got mixer. So the whole plugin actually has a mixer built in, which is insane. You can like just change the volumes of everything. They've got like different mappings you can change, which I'm going to leave these the same just because I think these are pretty comfortable for me. And then we've got my favorite part. This is literally just a grooves section of this. So these are all like grooves that probably Matt would go in and play. And you can just click through and use any of these grooves. You know, you can literally just drag these as well. Like you can just drag the MIDI onto the project. I'm not going to do that right now because I have not picked one yet, but this is incredible. And then they've got like odd time pack, subdivision pack, and then let's see, we've got presets as well for mix, which is super cool. So if you don't want to mix the drums but you want them to sound good really quickly, you literally just go for somebody's initial mix of the drum kit, and you've got different artist presets and factory presets as well. Wow, look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, we're here, we're tuned up. Let's actually just start going through some of these and see if I can find any that I want to play to. That's disgusting. So yeah, I'm at 160 BPM right now, and that is just because that's the BPM that I see in here. This is what all of these are like preset at. So you can use them at different tempos, but this is where they were written at probably. So all right, here's the fun part. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go through and like find one that I find interesting. I'll start playing to some of these as well. Okay. Wait, I kind of like that. Oh! I dig that. Let's keep going with that. Honestly, this one is pretty cool. So that's kind of what I'm feeling. Honestly, I dig this one. I'm gonna drag it onto the page here. So what's kind of going through my head right now, like as I'm starting to write a riff to this, is I've got like a love for super deep chords, like super wide open chords. I love drop tunings. As you can probably tell, I'm literally dropped down to C# right now. So I've just found this and I was like kind of noodling along with it. As I was noodling along with it, I was just like, okay, I'm feeling this groove. So that's like the one thing for me is like starting a riff. I usually jump to the 12th fret up here to do tapping grooves and everything, just because it's like the easiest spot to get the chords down in your left hand. Because what I'm doing is I'm just doing a bunch of like two-handed tapping, right? So I'm starting out here. Or whatever it is that I was playing just a second ago. But in that, it's like difficult to focus on both hands at once. So a lot of the time I'll find myself prioritizing one of the hands over the other in the beginning. And for me, this is my left hand, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to pick like the solid chord progression before I move on to more of the lead line stuff or like the melody stuff in my right hand. So in doing that, I'm gonna resort to using the 12th fret to figure out the rhythm, so I can really just balance my hands first and then focus on the right hand afterwards. So knowing that, let's just go into this and try writing something. I'm actually gonna turn this light. All right, now we're good. Let's just start like messing around with So that's another thing I'll do often when writing is I find that I'm actively listening to what it is that I'm playing, and I'm trying to carve out a memory. Wow, that was deep. I'm trying to carve out a melody in my head as I'm playing it. So like as I was doing this one, I was just like kind of singing to myself the melody. That's one thing that I can't stress enough, is like your voice is so important when using this instrument. I'm feeling it there. I'm gonna just experiment more with that top line for a bit. First, I want to drag this tempo down. Ooh, I like that. I like that one. That one's really cool. Okay, one thing that I'm prioritizing now is like the idea of repetition. So I'm trying to give it more of a vocal, like melodic touch by adding in these high notes. So it sounds like this so far. Let's add that in here. Let's see if I can actually play it up to time. That's super cool. So I've gotten a few takes of it now, and now I'm like thinking it could be cool to mute in between those. Let me actually just duplicate this really quick. It could be really cool to mute in between these hits in the beginning, and then after like a repetition, take it into more like legato feel in those bass notes. Here, okay, let's see if I can do that in the first place. Pretty good to me. Ah, no, you know what I should do? It's gotta be double the length. Okay, so we're going for a 16 bar phrase here now, and that's just so I can emphasize it a little bit more, really get that feel going. Here we go. You know what I'm realizing just now is that this grouping is actually in 4/4, but it was a 5-bar phrase. And I've literally just taken it and now I'm using it in a 5/4 riff. So, okay, I mean, that works fine. This is really funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of like hunt around and see if I can find something to give more oomph to this later part. Let's see if we can do that. Okay. Now I'm curious to see how this would sound here if we're gonna do that. I'm literally just gonna drag this into my project. Bruh. I'm having too much fun with this. Okay, here, wait, let me drag in another pattern. I'm gonna grab an actual bass guitar and I'm gonna plug that in and try playing along to this. Super cool. Okay, so I think we got it. I think that's... Oh yeah, I almost knocked over my water bottle. Sometimes I forget how long basses are because I never play bass. So I think we got it. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. So now I'm just gonna piece it all together, do a tiny bit of mixing, and then we'll see how this turned out. I think this was a pretty good sesh. Boom! It's as easy as that, I guess. This is our final groove, I think. I'm gonna throw a quick mix on this and then we'll see how it turned out in just a sec. But this is the whole groove.